It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. Coming up next.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at US Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Coming up, we got a good matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Gaudin, so pleased to be joined as always by Charles Davis. CD, these Vikings had things rolling in 2022, a 13-4 record, new head coach, an exciting offense, but it all came crashing down in another early playoff exit.
And that really was because of the defensive side of the ball. They had a terrific record. Would they win 11 games by one score or less, an NFL record? Got to get strong on the defensive side in order to get deeper into the playoffs.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Seahawks, most of the pundits, yourself included, Charles, gave their draft class high marks. And that comes after a year where they struck gold in the 5th round with Tariq Woolen.
And they also struck gold in the offensive line, getting brand new tackles at left and right. Struck gold with a running back who was a big-time runner as a rookie. Yeah, there's something to be said about building through the draft.
So the Seahawks ready to take over on offense, and it is a first-time Pro Bowler who leads them out, Charles, in his 11th year now, Geno Smith.
When the Seahawks named Smith the starter last season, it gave him an opportunity he wasn't sure he would get again. And then he became one of the best quarterbacks in football and sustained it across a full 17 games, winning Comeback Player of the Year. Saved his career with last season and keeps the Seahawks as true contenders.
Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's 2nd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game. We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
On first down, Smith flushed out right. There he goes, right side. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Block now to throw. Out to his left. Fighting through. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Drew Lock scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Seahawks are on the board first here this afternoon. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the capper, a 19-yard touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Minnesota's offense and QB Kirk Cousins set to go here.
Not bad for a 4th-round draft pick. Well over 100 career starts now. And the chemistry with his top targets, really on point. They spend a lot of time in practice and after practice making sure the routes are run well, and he knows exactly where they're going to be on the field. And when they get open, he delivers.
Going to begin the drive here with Madison. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. A great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Cousins. This goes out wide from Madison. And now off to the races down the right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process.
That turned into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Cousins to throw it. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Boye Mafe from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8.
That's a ball he needs to let go of there. Wasn't the most time in the world to work through his progression, but NFL quarterbacks, they've got to sense the pressure. They've got that internal clock, and the ball has to be gone. And if you're not going to escape and run for it, you have to let it go before the pressure gets to you and puts you on the ground.
That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a 1st down. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
On play action, Cousins. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jamal Adams on the safety blitz, too fast to handle. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Here's Cousins. This is Alexander Madison out of the backfield with it. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the 1st.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Cousins. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
2nd and 10. Cousins. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. The kick by Joseph is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
Is that what
he would have kept it on the ground.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Daniil Hunter came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Now Geno. And he is caught. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A first down and then some. Give them 29 yards.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Off of play action, here's Smith. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Credit that sack to Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Catch is made by Metcalf. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet? And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt, certainly not what he wanted. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Madison. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Cousins now. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. They overload him that time on the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
Fielded at the 43. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Daniil Hunter, now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Yeah, this is a high kick, but it's not going anywhere. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And the defense closes quickly there, and he'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up.
Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9.
Working out of the gun, Cousins.
Open man is Osborne.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
So, Charles, defensively here, you're going up against a veteran quarterback. He's got a lot of know-how, a ton of savvy, but guy who's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. What's the plan of attack?
You spend all week pumping up your defensive front. Your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys who go after the quarterback the most, because you know that he's not going to run and beat you consistently throughout the game. You can rush more aggressively off the edge and even up the middle, because even if he evades you, he's not going to go very far. You have a lot more confidence going after him in the pocket.
On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
A throw there, but going to wind up incomplete.
It's pretty early in the game, and they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
And a fair catch is taken here, a step or two inside the 45-yard line. Well, pretty woeful there, just 23 yards on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45. Now Cousins.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. A big play there for Minnesota. 49 yards. The defense, they weren't fooled on that post route. They just couldn't make the play.
And the offense definitely tried to fool them because you saw the other route combinations, didn't you? Anything that they were running trying to draw attention away from the deep part of the field, but still had it covered, yet they were able to come up with a nice play.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Another carry now for Madison. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. Now a timeout called for by the defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter.
Madison.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Joseph's got it, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6.
So the margin shrinks there as they get the field goal to draw them a bit closer here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, nice snap, nice hold. They just want to keep this game close, so give them credit for finishing that one off with 3.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Here's Walker to start the drive.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And out now come the Vikings. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. And he'll be brought down right on the 50, a gain of 3.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 7.
Cousins now from the 50.
And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
When we talk with people about what we think the most important quality for an NFL quarterback to possess, what do people usually say?
Arm strength. And he showed the arm strength there.
Yeah, pretty good bullet pass he threw, but he wasn't accurate, was he?
No.
Listen, you like mobility, but accuracy, first and foremost, is what a quarterback needs. He didn't possess it on that play.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up 2nd.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. 23 yards the pickup there.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
And this play's still live. He faked the spike, going to throw it. And that is going to wind up incomplete. So they tried to hit him with something you don't see too often, but he doesn't work out.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. He lets it fly for Lockett. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well. The offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or 2. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, Smith. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
They were maybe hoping for a little bit of a back shoulder fade there, and that's a play that's been in vogue the last few years in all aspects of football. But they couldn't get the hook up there.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Zone coverage there, they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing now is Geno. He's got a man, complete. Touchdown, Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, 34 yards, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead is up to 8. The drive there only spanning 3 plays.
And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
And now out comes Minnesota.
Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Now a 2nd and 10.
From the gun, here's Cousins.
That is into the hands of Hockenson downfield.
A big play there for Minnesota. 49 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Throwing is Cousins.
Pass caught here by Osborne.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. This is caught.
And the Vikings are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll try to run with Madison. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Alexander Madison taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Vikings have cut the lead back down to 2. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and they actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This taken in right around the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise, he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability.
From the 31, here's 2nd down and 2.
Now Smith. The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Throwing on third down, Smith. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The linebacker, Jordan Hicks, flying in there for the sack. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. And a fair catch is called for. He will take it in to give his guys some excellent field position here.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. They'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
After the interception, here's Smith. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Offenses all over continue to be aggressive, and most people never turn down a shot at a deep ball. But oftentimes, it attracts a little bit of extra attention. And it did on that play, and that one got knocked away.
On 2nd and 10, Smith.
Throw left side is intercepted. Picked off by Caleb Evans.
And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. To throw is Cousins.
They'll find Osborne here.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Play action now. Cousins.
And this throw incomplete. The defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And this will be a Vikings 1st down as he gets us up past the 30 to the 32.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game, and that's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides, but to see the ball in a running back's hand.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time, multiple guys get to it. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game. Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Room past the 35. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
Well, partner, they've used him quite well out of the backfield in this one. And here's another nice example. They set up the screen, and he's able to pick his way downfield for a nice gain there.
Look at this. Middle of the field, a breakaway. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Here's Madison running left. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Here's Cousins. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the Vikings are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Boy, this is a well-orchestrated drive they've put together. You think back to how far they were backed up to start things out, but they've gone on a march since then, and now after that...
And he will score! Touchdown, Vikings! C.J. Ham taking it in from 4 yards out, and the Vikings go 98 yards and finish it off in the end zone. Well, they weren't messing around. First and goal, they don't do anything fancy. They just go to the fullback right away.
I like how you phrase that because oftentimes they come back to the fullback when it's late in the down and distance count, right? In this case, first down, let's go get it right now.
And he got it 6 points on the board.
Joseph connects on the extra point,
and that'll make this a 6-point game.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, their goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Rolling to his right. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The improv act, they're good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up here at halftime, we'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. Smith going to throw on 3rd and 1. Being chased out left. No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They snap it to Smith. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. First down. Here's Cousins. That is caught at the 7. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll go Madison up the middle. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Here's Madison getting it again on 2nd.
And this time he is in. Alexander Madison with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
So it takes them just 3 plays here to find the end zone. And you remember, of course, this was all set up by their defense.
Yeah, they got the stop on 4th down, so I imagine the offense said to their defense, thank you very much for this great starting field position. And like you said, 3 plays later, they're in the end zone.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And the lead now stands at 13.
DJ Dallas to return it from his end zone.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Geno now to throw. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now Geno on 1st down. Catch is made by Metcalf. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, 55 yards.
And the Seahawks get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
These 2 teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. Extra point up and through by Myers, and the lead will shrink to 6. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Jordan Addison back out now as the Vikings offense set to take possession.
He's been really good in the yardage category, yet to hit the end zone, however.
A minor blemish against him right now because the work he's doing catching the ball, in some ways he's helping serve as good ball control because the big plays that he's making have really helped out his team.
Absolutely. They're winning on the scoreboard here in quarter number 2. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Cousins on 1st down. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Here's 2nd and 10.
To throw, Cousins. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Cousins.
That one too wide and incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
And here's Ryan Wright now,
as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fair catch called for and taken just inside the 10-yard line. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, back to you guys in just a moment, but welcome everyone to our Creative Village studios in the EA Sports halftime report. The Vikings got a solid performance in that first half from their veteran signal caller, Kirk Cousins. He's over 300 yards passing already, as he's looking to possibly put his name in the record book. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime, but the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3?
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it in second down.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Third and 5.
Throwing, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force the incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on for the 5th time here today. Taken from just outside the 30. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and out will come the offense as they take over.
DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
So the completion good for 7 there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Out of the gun, Smith.
That is incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
And the Vikings are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Boy, Brandon, that's what I call an ill-advised pass right there on 3rd down. I mean, you just need a yard or 2 to keep the drive going. Instead, he's trying to hit a home run. You've got to really like your chances if you're going to take a shot like that.
And the Vikings now heading onto the field.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Following the interception, Cousins. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And they'll hold him to 3 there as he takes this up to the 47. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5.
Cousins now. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here.
The Smith's throw caught here by Metcalf.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Back to throw, Smith. Sliding out of the pocket. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
It was starting to become a game for him to forget with the interceptions, but that's a step in the right direction. Not only did he choose to run it instead, but he saw the field well and made a nice pickup to get a new set of downs.
Smith on 1st down. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively, but they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
Now a 1st down throw. It's Smith. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Seahawks have tied the ball game with a chance to take the lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
And now out comes Minnesota.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it's second down.
On the handoff, it's Madison. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And taken right on the 30. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return.
There's Tyler Lockett and the rest of his Seattle teammates coming out for the next possession.
He's been his typical solid and reliable self, hasn't he, Charles?
When you have that go-to receiver that you can count on in the situation where you absolutely have to have him, there's nothing better for anybody who's throwing the football. But the best part is the payoff. 2 touchdowns already. That's the bottom line when you throw the ball to a guy.
Absolutely. Not over 100 yards right now, but he does have the 2 touchdown catches. So nothing doing there, and it'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing now is Geno. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
A shotgun snap for Smith. And that is incomplete.
Probably the way this offense is marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on third down, isn't it?
And they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt, certainly not what he wanted. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It was Jamal Adams up from his safety spot to make the play behind the line.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Here's Madison getting it again on second. Able to slither by. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 55 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. That's taken on the 25. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
And they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Back to the air, Smith on 2nd down. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. On 1st down, Smith. Flush to his right. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. Touchdown! DK Metcalf with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to stretch out their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. The extra point now coming from Myers. And with that, the lead is up to 8. So that drive, 4 plays.
And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Here's Madison running on first down. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Here's Madison getting it again on second.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
73 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down.
Going to run with Madison again.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for Minnesota. This is taken at about the 14. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon, standing just about on his own goal line. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Draw play, Madison. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. To throw is Cousins. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Vikings first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now here's a throw that's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line. He's up to 88 yards receiving in the ballgame now, and he's got a first down. Osborne motions left. Now Cousins fakes a jet sweep, and off play action, he wants to throw it. This is caught by Addison. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. On the toss, Madison. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. Now Cousins. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Uchenna Nwosu picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Joseph for the Vikings field goal. A 52-yard attempt.
And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright, and that will keep the lead at 8. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Geno now to throw. Man open downfield. It's Metcalf. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Danielle Hunter able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play, but sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one, weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Brian Asamoah working his way in to pick up the sack. And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
The Vikings offense now heading out to take over.
And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly.
Cousins.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson.
He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Cousins now on 2nd down.
Throw to the right, hauled in by Addison. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up. They've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Draymond Jones able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Play fake, Cousins.
Addison hauls it in.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll be a gain of 5. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing.
3rd and long for Cousins. And that is incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Taking it about the 16. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Now a 2nd and 2. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
You give them 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It was Daniil Hunter to make the play in the backfield.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll try the air now with Smith. That is taken in by the tight end Fant.
Look at the big fella go.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Noah Fant, 69 yards.
And the Seahawks have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Well, it seemed like they were so focused elsewhere they forgot about the tight end spot, and he's the one that burns him there to make this a 3-score game here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
I think there might be a little bit of defensive fatigue from those guys on that side of the ball, partner, because they've been spending their time trying to stop them from all angles. This time the tight end gets them.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead is up to 18 now. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And it's Noah Fant who caps things off with the touchdown.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now out comes Minnesota.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out, because now it's not a total loss, because as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Cousins.
And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. First down, Vikings. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A second down throw for Cousins. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there, and how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. That close on 3rd down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on 3rd and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance. But that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
And he is going to pick up the Vikings first down as they wind up getting 4 there on 4th and 1.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Okay, you and I are sitting up here getting ready to analyze whether they should go for it or not. Did you see the quarterback just point to the sideline and say, everybody back, I've got this call?
Well, you knew this side of the field, they're in plus territory. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Cousins to throw it. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Uchenna Nwosu getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense is going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
And out now come the Seahawks.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead.
After the interception, here's Smith. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Geno. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. He'll find Metcalf. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs.
Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a peep of protest out of them. That's just who they are.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 49-yard line.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 6.
Now Cousins. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built off the efforts of this defense.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position.
On the counter, it's Walker.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Taken down back at the 42.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
They'll toss this out right to Walker.
Stiff-armed him. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. So on 4th down, here's Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so, and maybe you've actually...
Down the numbers. There he goes. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like,
there he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings.
KJ Osborne.
45 yards.
And the Vikings have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And the lead will be cut down to 14.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
Well, he thought about coming out, but instead he does go down to a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Now we will get another look at Seattle's offense. If they can score here, they have a chance to make this a 3-possession game and all but put things to bed. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line.
Hands it to Walker to begin the series.
And some room to run that. And now off to the races down the right points. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not down in the fourth.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They trail by 2 scores in the fourth, and their defense did its job getting the fumble recovery. And time to see what this offense has left in the tank.
Cousins now after the fumble recovery.
Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play. Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
That is caught. There he goes, left side. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down.
Listen, when you're at this point of the game, all options are on the table. Fourth down, they say, we've got to go for it. And what a play they come up with. Big yardage there to keep the drive alive.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Osborne. And the Vikings are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll throw again. Cousins to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Oh, this defense knows. Fourth quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
3rd and goal for Cousins. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
And going right back to Walker. And they'll get to him short of the 1st down at about the 16. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Now here's Michael Dixon standing just outside his own goal line. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. So Cousins and the Vikings down by 2 touchdowns. 1:53 remaining. Field goals useless at this point. They need 2 touchdowns, and they need them in short order. Cousins on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10.
On 2nd down, Cousins again. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
Cousins to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this defense will take over right at midfield.
We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Throwing now, Smith.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Ball resting on the 20. This is 2nd and 10. Over the middle and hauled in by Osborne.
Now the Seahawks going to use the 1st of their timeouts. It's just their 1st. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Here we go. 1st and goal.
Cousins now.
That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Cousins again.
That throw right side here going to be incomplete.
A lot of practice time, a lot of thinking goes into 2-minute drills, even on the defensive side. So now you want to make sure the guys understand. Continue to be aggressive, but make sure you're smart in doing so.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
And now defensively in the 2-minute drill, the big key to me, make sure you understand your assignments, and anytime you get a chance to tackle someone in bounds, get them on the ground.
Yeah, that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
One last shot now for Cousins. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So the victory here for Seattle.
Well, Charles, I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, ultimately one thing sticks out like a sore thumb. One side lost this game because they turned the ball over 4 times, and that was just too much for them to overcome.
And that number might as well be in neon, because you're exactly right. It just jumps up from the stat sheet. Your eyes go right to it. And with that many turnovers, they really played themselves out of this game. Too careless with the football too many times. That cost them the victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.